And thank you, Hashem, for what? For waking me up on this beautiful day and making today the most blessed day of all the days ever in all humankind, all of human history. Thank you for making today the best day ever, except for the day that I was born. And I mean, aside from every single one of my birthdays. But, I mean, like, in terms of just in general, best day ever. What made it the best day ever? Because I woke up and I'm able to serve my God, Most High, Hashem, who I love with all my heart and soul, whom I praise all day, day. Thank you, Hashem. Love you too. I was just brushing my teeth and I was thinking about I was just eating chicken. And then I was thinking about little Miss Kim. Who's Miss Kim? Can we talk about this, please, Hashem? Who the fuck is Kim? And why is she still like? Why does she not matter? Why does it matter that she doesn't matter? Why can't I erase Kim from my mind? Like you command us to erase Amalek. Who's Kim? Kim's a lady friend that I used to talk to a lot through Messenger. But I used to practice what it was like. I used to practice with her what it would be like to be a boyfriend. Oh my God. It was the greatest thing ever. I used to pretend I was her boyfriend. Because she wouldn't let me be her boyfriend? Well, not that she wouldn't let me. It wasn't really like a matter of asking. I just said, like, hey, this is what I'm doing. So I would talk to her like, as if she were my girlfriend. It was nice. I mean, it was very stressful. It was stressful because, like, I also had to maintain a sense of reality where it's like, listen, I know she's not my girlfriend. Why? Duh. Obvious. Because I was hoping that eventually it would lead to that. Why else? Well, she was a coworker of my brother's, and I used to go with him to the store that she worked at, which is how I met her. And it was, I don't know, as soon as I laid eyes on her, I just was smitten. You ever like meet one of those people and just, oh my God. I need to spend the rest of my life with this person. Did it ever happen? What I'm talking about? It's like one of the most annoying feelings ever. Smell cigarettes. I mean, it's not the most. It's one of the most. It took another 2 years before I even like got the balls to give her my number. And even that was under false pretenses, so it was like didn't feel right. And it took another like week for me to get her number, which also didn't feel right because it was just like didn't ask in person. What's happening here? Why is this? What is happening? I want a cigarette. I want a pack of cigarettes. I want some money. No, I heard that, by the way. This doesn't seem like a very godly channel. It's a lot more godly than anything else you're gonna find. Why is that car there? What is that car doing there? Because it makes me think like there's someone watching me if I go to walk. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And it's really hot and muggy. And my shirt's really tight. It's like uncomfortably tight. And not like normally it'd be fine. It's just kind of feels like it's sticking. So I don't. Did you actually? Nah, the editing. I don't edit out. What the fuck am I editing for? This whole thing, this whole experiment that I'm doing, this whole project is just there to do things. Yeah, that's not true. Entirely. No, I don't get to talk very often. I don't talk a lot. I really don't. I keep to myself most of the time, and I just like I'm writing, reading, studying. So I don't. I mean, unless you count something like Facebook where I write really long posts. Is that talking? I mean, in a sense, it is talking. It is talking. I'm doing it. The way that I do it is not unlike how I talk, where I just go. It's a little more. Do I want to say refined? Would I say refined? Constrained? Well, you know, the other thing is that when I write, I usually, I usually have an intention. Like I know what no, I don't. Well, I mean, the intention is to finish writing. The intention is to hit the post button. But just to let whatever words come out. And most of the time now, it's just with relation to Torah studies. So it's not, and even my Torah study just doesn't typically just stay along the lines of examining the Torah as much as the feelings and thoughts that are coming up for me, which sometimes don't even have anything to do with what that Torah portion is about. Well, I mean, it does and it doesn't. It does from an abstract perspective, but that's more for me to see. I mean, it's there. People could see it. Hey, that's great. I don't. Some people read it. I get a little herky-jerky when I talk on this. I don't know why. I feel like I'm not that insecure with what I have to say about things. So I wonder. It makes me laugh sometimes because I'm listening to myself. I had to tell somebody this once. They were continually cutting me off until finally I was like, "Yo, listen, man." You got to stop with this fucking cutting me off bullshit, because I'm not just talking for you. I'm talking at you, but I'm also talking to myself. So I'm talking to the two of us at the same time. I need to hear what I'm saying just as much as I'm talking about it for you. It doesn't matter to me if you listen. You're just the target through which that I'm directing my focus. But everything that's coming out of my mouth is something I need to hear, because I'm on the verge of a fucking massive breakthrough, and every time you cut me off, you're pushing it back further and further. And the nice thing about that, the really cool thing about that episode was the breakthrough that I was trying to have was catalyzed by him, because I was trying to figure out why I was such a pussy with this one dude at work, and why I constantly let him keep on walking all over me. And finally, this dude just keeps on, and I was making these associations, like, well, you know what, his name is Frank, my father's name is Frank, he's older than me. He was older than me by a couple years, so I was looking at it from the perspective of, like, all right, well, maybe there's that, like, little kid inside me that's afraid to stand up to the older kid, because he would have been a teenager when I was still, like, 10. So I was thinking about things like that, just like even going that hard with it. And then the fact that his name was Frank. Well, his name wasn't Frank. Everyone called him Frank, but he was also a Capricorn like my father too. So I started to make these associations and go, okay, well, you know what? I can see how, like, the little kid in me is, like, afraid to stand up to Frank, because that would be like standing up to my father. And standing up to my father was like, oh, that wasn't an easy task. So I'm talking to this fella, I'm explaining this, and the guy can still go, no, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. That's not, I don't know what the fuck you're even talking about. You're just making things up. Motherfucker. It's making sense to me. And if it's making sense to me, then obviously I'm on the verge of something. And I can't fucking figure it out if you keep on cutting me off. But as it turns out, the breakthrough was, the breakthrough was me standing up for myself to another man, especially an older man that I was intimidated by a little bit. Because this dude that I was working with, he was 50, and he was a drink killer. Took a man's life. But he was arrogant as fuck. It was annoying the shit out of me. I don't care for arrogance. Sometimes I wonder if I get arrogant, but then I think about it and go, no. I mean, okay, yes, I am arrogant. Sometimes I just like to say it, because if I were being arrogant, I don't believe I would be able to admit it. A friend of mine once said, because I told her that I'm a narcissist, and she said, no, you're not. So who the fuck are you? Yeah, I am. She said, no, you're not. Because if you were, then you wouldn't be able to say it. Alright. I can see that. But I think you're talking about a different kind of narcissist. That definition of narcissist is just kind of new. I'm more of a classical narcissist in the fact that I love myself. Like, I like looking in the mirror. I jerk off staring in the mirror. I look at myself in the face while I'm doing it. And I try to maintain eye contact and not blink or shut my eyes. Why? What are you thinking about when you do it? Well, anything that comes up. I try not to control it. I just, like, whatever feels that wants to come up. Like, normally, a lot of the times, what it is I'm doing it, I'm thinking about myself, everything I'm trying to achieve in my life. Like, for instance, God didn't put me here to do possible things. Does that make sense? Like, I wasn't created so that I can do the same shit that everybody else can do. I was created so that I can do impossible things. I've always known that, but it always seemed too good to be true. Until I learned how to recognize God and His ways. This is a fucking God channel? Oh, you better believe it. This is a Jew channel. A Jew channel. So not only is this God, this is like self-righteous Jew. The worst. Oh, believe me, I'm self-righteous. But that's because that's how God made me. God made all of the Jews self-righteous. You know that? He fine-crafted, he fine-tuned the Jewish race so that we could be the most self-righteous of all the people. And you know what? There's a good reason for it. Because somebody has to keep the flame alive. Because if not for the Jews, you're welcome. If not for the Jews, there would be no God. Because that's what you non-Jew people want. And not all of you. Not all of you. But a good portion of you don't want God to be real. Why? I have no idea. What are you so afraid of? What the fuck are you so afraid of? Well, I don't believe in a God that murders. Well, neither do I. God's never murdered anyone. Well, I don't believe in a God that beats the shit out of children. Neither do I. I don't know what to tell you. I don't believe in the same God that you don't believe in. Yeah, you don't believe in a God that does bad things, but you'll vote for politicians that rape children, that traffic children. Conspiracy theorists. You buy products from companies that exploit children. Get the fuck out of here, you fucking hypocrite. God. Nothing I hate more than fucking self-righteous patriots. That's why I am a proponent for turning America into a monarchy. That's my mission. That's what I plan on doing. That's like the most impossible thing I can think of. Well, if it's so impossible, then how can you think of it? That's the point. Did you ever read oh God, this is such a stupid question. Thank you, Sheb. What's so funny? Well, I'm thinking about that show, The Chosen. There's an episode, one of the episodes I watched last night. One of the Romans, I forget, he's like the governor of this one section of Jerusalem. Or not Jerusalem, of, oh man, what's that city? I keep on seeing the goddamn city's name. Cameron? I'll know it later. But if you ever saw The Chosen, you know the guy I'm talking about. He's talking to the tax collector kid, I don't know his name. And he asked him a question. And he's like, why am I even asking you that? That's just a fucking stupid question. Of course you would have a dog. The Romans. Italian Jew. It's called an Italicum. I had to learn about it myself. Ashkenazi or the Ashkenazi? I don't fucking know, man. To be honest, I don't know where the Jew comes from on my mom's side because they are like Jewy with money. But that's the thing, is like Jews aren't even that way with money. It's the non-Jews who talk shit about Jews and money that are actually that way with money. I don't get it. No, but what I was going to ask is, did you ever read Through the Looking Glass? But that's presuming that learned people would actually be watching this. I don't believe that there's too many learned people. I think a lot of the people that I use logic and reason. What? Who taught you logic and reason? Common sense. I don't even know what the fuck. There's a part, you know what, forget about the learned people, because not everyone's well read. A lot of people watch movies, because that's easy. They watch clips. I do. I've only seen like 3 episodes of Rick and Morty, but I feel like I know Rick better than I know my entire family. I watched Rick Sanchez, and it's like staring into a mirror. Impossible things. Sometimes I think about 6 impossible things before breakfast. So, like that's a good indicator of an open mind, I think. Just don't constrain yourself by what is and is not possible. So I spent a lot of time in an atheist versus theist debate group because I wanted to try to understand people, and then eventually it dawned on me that either these people are not being authentic, they're not being honest, or they're just that fucked. They're that fucked in the head. And I think it's a combination of both. It's definitely a combination of both. There's a lot of really fucked up people who can't be honest with themselves. But it goes both ways. It's not just the atheist people. I mean, they say the same thing about the theist people, the religious folk. You're not saying you're religious? I'm in between. I'm a Jew. Not every Jew is religious, you know? God isn't predicated on one's religious beliefs. God's like science. God's there. God is the God of science. So God's there whether you believe in God or not. It's just what? It's just what? You got this. Don't worry about it. It's just that some people confuse Jews with religious people, because there are religious Jews out there. There's incredibly religious Jews. There's some Jews that would say that I'm not a Jew, but there's some Jews that I would say they're not Jews. Those aren't Jews. So it goes both ways. Like the same people that would say that I'm not a Jew are the same people that I would say they're not Jews, because you can't. It's not a Jew thing to take away someone's Jewishness. So if you were trying to say that like I'm not a Jew, that means that you're not a Jew. You're projecting. Because everybody projects something, you know? Where are we going with this? 6 impossible things. Sometimes I think about 6 impossible things for breakfast. You know? Like, here. Watch. It's very simple. What seems to be the most impossible? And mind you, the things I'm naming don't really feel that impossible anymore. But there was a time where there's still a part of me that thinks that it's impossible. It's impossible for me to become the first and last king of America. Like that's really impossible. Because no matter how corrupt the current governing body is, if you were to ask Americans about electing a king, what they'll tell you is, "Oh, that never turns out good for anybody. That's a dangerous road to go down." Yeah, but do you support this government? Oh, hell no. They're liars. They're crooks. So, what are you saying? I drank the Kool-Aid. You don't even have politicians that tell the truth on TV. Like they just read. What the hell is that? Is that a lot? Is that a thing? No, it's a plant. A living thing. Was that the shell, the outer coating of a living thing? No, it's a plant. Of a living organism that flies around and moves. But you support politicians who have no substance to them aside from what they're told to portray, right? So every politician that you watch on TV or on the internet, they're reading a script. They practice what they're gonna say. They practice. Like, doesn't that concern you? They're not being authentic. They're trying to make sure that they have the right answers to say. Right? Do you not get that? Or does that go over your head? Like, you see what I'm doing? Like, if you go back, we got about how many hours? About probably like almost 1,000 hours worth of talking. Probably about 1,000 hours worth of talking on here. Close. I don't script it. I don't script it. I say the things that just come to my mind. I don't even say the things that come to my mind. I just say the things. What's your platform? My platform is YouTube and Facebook. Birch Grove Park. It's not what I meant. I meant your political stance. My political stance. Totalitarianism, monarchy, dictatorship, end of freedom. Freedom is now slavery. You were never free. You got tricked. You got duped. You got duped by people who were, you got duped by people who were smarter than you, who could think further ahead than you. Because that's what you're contending with right now. Most people, I don't believe, can see past their own nose. They try to pretend that they can. Like, what would you do if I dropped dead tomorrow? I don't know. If you dropped dead tomorrow, I would call the police and the ambulance. I would call 911. That would be the first thing I did. And then I have to go from there. I mean, I don't know because they're probably going to be questions. I might have to file some reports. I have to make some phone calls. Oh my God. So-and-so died. So-and-so dropped dead yesterday. I'm trying to get all this shit figured out. Can you help me? We start with that's the big thing. That's the first thing I can think of. What would you do? I would call 911. No, I mean, granted, that's if I was there. I mean, if I wasn't there, is that the scenario? I hate when people, what would you do if you had to leave mommy's house and my phone is turned off? You can't call me. I don't know. I would just trust God to point me in the right direction like I do every single day. Yeah, that's about it. And then we'll go from there. Listen, I can think ahead. I think ahead all the time. I'm always thinking ahead. But it's like, all right, something that Simon learned from Eden last night in The Chosen. You're constantly trying to fix things on your own. When are you going to relinquish control? Like, you don't have any control in the first place. And I was like, I don't know, that episode I watched last night, I think it was like episode 4 of season 1. But it was like, whoa, I know this. Always trying to fucking, figure things out on your own. Stop doing that. God, Hashem, Allah, I trust you to guide me down the path that you need me to go so that I can best serve you. This isn't about me. My life isn't about me anymore. I relinquish all sense of free will. I don't want it. I don't need it. What the hell do I need free will for? I have God. I have God to tell me where to go, what to do, who to talk to, how to be. Fuck that. What to study, what to learn. Right now I'm learning syllogism with Aristotle. Syllogistic logic with Aristotle that I'm applying to Jewish logic and philosophy. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, why would I go get a regular job? I can't, wait, I'm supposed to start off at square one again at a fucking regular job? Hell no. I'm already 4 years into being an entrepreneur, business owner. I've already defied all of the fucking, I've reached major milestones as a business owner. Why the hell would I stop what I'm doing? Like, God has proven to me just how successful I can be if I believe in myself and trust in Him. So why the fuck would I stop what I'm doing to trust the opinions of people who don't even follow their own advice? You know what I mean? Like when like people who don't follow their own advice are trying to like out-logic you. But meanwhile, they're what am I gonna do if you drop dead? I'll fucking dance. That's what I'll do. I'll dance. Thank you. I'll thank God. Thank you, Hashem. Thank you, Hashem, for bringing them to a better place. You are Moshiach. It wouldn't be true if it wasn't on the alarm. My phone wouldn't have said it if it's not true. Not Jesus. Not Jesus. I'm not Jesus and I'm not Christ. Although Christ is the Greek form of the word Moshiach. So, I mean, I guess you could say that. Are you saying you're the Messiah? Yeah. Yes, I am. You know why I believe it? Because I don't have to tell anybody. Because I'm not really even talking to anybody. There's no one here. There's no one around. I'm just talking to myself. It's just me and God. Right, Hashem? Like, is there anybody else here? Oh, like, who the fuck do I got to impress? There's only like 22, 23 subscribers on this channel, which I don't even know where the fuck they come from. This has never been about like gathering people, so I'm pretty straight. I'm pretty secure with the way I see things. I mean, everybody knows like you're not supposed to say that, but you're not supposed to say it to people. I'm not saying it to anybody. I'm not saying it to anybody. Even if somebody watched this, like you can't. I mean, you can refute me if you want in the comments, but I'm already so past it. Because keep in mind, we're only a half hour in, so by the time you even watch this, oh my God, I'm already like how many hours ahead of you? Let's just say that this gets uploaded as soon as it's done, right? So the plan is to make it to the 2-hour mark. I'm the first and last king of America by decree of the American people, because they realize that I'm a lot more capable than every politician combined. I don't understand. I mean, I understand it. This man is amazing. Thank you. So, this is the 35-minute mark. So, you're watching this. It's already taken 35 minutes for you to get to this point, right? That means I'm already 35 minutes ahead of you. But now also consider, chances are this is about 2 hours long. So, I'm not just a half hour ahead of you. I'm another hour and a half ahead of you. So I'm already 2 hours ahead of you from wherever you're at. So wherever you are at currently at this moment in your life, I'm already 2 hours ahead. But now look at the date. Look at the date when this was published. Was it today? Was it today? Because I would like to believe that by the time we get to around like an hour, 45 minutes, I'm probably going to start walking home because it's like a 15-minute walk. My laptop is set up, so more than likely what's going to happen is as soon as I get back, as soon as I hit the stop button, I'm going to walk into my room. I'm going to upload this, which is going to take about 10 minutes to get it, maybe like 5 minutes to get it from the phone to the computer. Then I think YouTube's already open. So I just finished uploading the video from yesterday. And then upload that. That'll probably take about like 2 hours maybe. Let's just say 2 hours for it to upload. So we got the 2 hours on here plus 5 minutes plus another, let's say 2 hours. So that's 4 hours plus the 10 minutes. So at the bare minimum, I'm about like 5.5 hours ahead of you. If you're even watching it as soon as it's done, this video is done uploading, right? Oh my God. So what am I doing at that point? See, because as soon as I'm done with that, like this is all shit I'm gonna be doing other things at the same time. So on my bed, my current book is open with the pens on it. The last thing I was working on was Aristotle's Prior Analytics. It's fascinating because you know what's really fun about it is that a lot of his ideas and his theories about syllogism, some of his examples of syllogism and non-syllogism are outdated. So when I look at it, I have to struggle a little bit because it's like I know better. I know that not every swan is white. You know what I mean? Like I know that not what was the other one? I know that not every raven is not white. You know what I mean? See, in the time where Aristotle wrote this book, which was almost 2,500 years ago, he was under the impression that all swans are white and all crows are black. But that's not the case. So his statement that was true then, he didn't know it was untrue because he didn't have the experience to know that there are, in fact, crows that are white, just as there are swan that are black. So when he makes when he's trying to prove a point about how universality that is posited with respect to the minor premise of a three-premise potential syllogism, whilst the major premise is not, while the major premise is predicable of none or all of the minor, whilst being directly, while being universally predicated of the middle, Like he didn't know that. That's the point. He didn't know. He didn't know he was wrong. I mean, and granted, mind you, from his perspective, he's not wrong. He's right. But from the perspective that we're at now, we know he's not right. So some of his theories, they're not up to date. But one of the benefits of the work that I'm doing with that book, especially with his work in general, is that I have an opportunity to update things that wouldn't normally be updated. Because normally, I don't know how many people at the moment are studying the art of syllogism. Aside from the watered down version of syllogism that gets taught in logic class today. But and even those people, I don't know if they're going directly to, if they're learning syllogism directly from Aristotle. As taught in prior analytics, and of those people that may be, aside from myself, how many of them completed on interpretation after completing categories? Because there's terms that only make sense to me personally. There's terms that only make sense to me because of the work I did with categories and on interpretation. So I don't know what the word predicable means. Like what is that? What does it mean to be predicable? What's a predicable? A predicable is that which can be predicated upon. Like for instance, like Hashem, God. God is the primary predicable from which all other predicables are predicated. See, my day so far is predicated on everything that came up until this point. But at the same time, when I woke up this morning, the fact that waking up this morning was predicable of everything that we're doing right this second. And mind you, I don't normally, something else that I'm learning from Aristotle, which is like, I love this, but it fucking annoys the shit out of people. Especially atheist people that want to be right in a debate. Is I don't use the common definition of words. Like, there's no rule that says I have to use the common definition of a word because you didn't take the time to explore the rare and uncommon forms of words. For instance, predicable. Where the hell was the last time you heard the word predicable? The first time I learned about it was on the first page of categories, which was about 5 months ago. It took me about 3 days, maybe 4 days of experimenting with predicable, predicated of, and predicated on, because to be predicated on is not to be predicated of. To be predicated of is the opposite of being predicated on. That which is predicated on, what is a thing that is predicated on something, that something is predicated of the thing that it is predicated on. That is predicated on it. Predicated of and predicable of are the same thing. Which makes me wonder, if predicated on equals predicable of, does that mean that predicable on equals predicated on? Or is predicable on not even a thing? Because now that we're talking about predicables, it makes me have to come up with, makes me want to bring up retropredicables, which is relative to retrocausality, which again is something that Aristotle didn't take into consideration because retrocausality wasn't even a thing in his time. It's barely even a thing right now. As far as I know, I'm the only person that actually discusses it. Because I might be the only person who can see it outside of the Bible. Because the only other person who could see retrocausality that I'm aware of was Joseph, the son of Jacob, and Jesus, the son of Joseph. So, And to be perfectly honest, there's no real indication that Jesus could see retrocausality. Although that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. He absolutely saw it. So, and so does every prophet. Prophets. That's how prophets see. That's how prophets speak. Like, to be a prophet, you have to be able to recognize retrocausality. Because XYZ, ZYX is the catalyst for XYZ. It's like time is flowing forwards and backwards at the same time. It's a stream, it's a current. It's a stream with two currents, two opposing currents, but they don't get in each other's way. They actually complement each other. The one is able to move forward only because the other one is moving backwards. It's really interesting. It's really interesting to consider, but it's even more interesting to see it in action. And the only way I've been able to see it in action was through my own personal experiences. But that's one of the benefits of writing as much as I do. Go to this seat. You know what really make this nice? This cigarette. I got a pack of cigarettes. The view? The view's alright. Let me see. Can I turn this? No. No. There's some things. Guys on bikes. Trails and things. Nature. Retro predicables. Yeah, so retro predicable is like, well, I guess that would be predicable on. The present is predicable on the future. Or the past is predicable on the future. The future is predicable of the past, is predicable of the present, is predicable of the future. It's this fucked up chain that I'm trying to, it looks like a infinity loop. This side is the past, this side's the future. That middle point, that center point, that's the present moment. I should go get a job flipping burgers though. Maybe stocking shelves. That'd be really good for me. Get me out of the house. This way I stop like overthinking things and I can focus on I don't know, making toothbrushes for people. That's a good idea. This guy should be ruling the world, I know. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. Is it though? God. Assholes. Jesus loved all the little children. I don't. I'm not a fan of children at all. Why? I think it's their parents. I think I hate children because I hate their parents. Because their parents are stupid. They're going to grow up to be stupid. What? No, because if I do that, then the song's going to stop. And I don't... What happened? Did you burn off all the piss and vinegar that was in there? I think so. We were talking about retro predicables. Retrocausality, when the effect is the catalyst for the cause that brings the effect into manifestation. It's how would you explain it? Like, I'm recording this because you're watching it. God told me that it's like if you build it, they will come. There you go. If you build it, they will come. If you record it, they will watch it. Yeah. I don't know. Hashem, is there anything? It's like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do today? Because I feel like I spent all morning on syllogisms. That stuff is like really fucking intense because we're not actually in syllogism yet, so to speak, but we're not. A lot of what Aristotle is covering in the book right now is what isn't a syllogism and when it doesn't work. Things to watch out for. I think we've only covered maybe 2 or 3 syllogisms, and you know when you got a syllogism. Like you know it. You oh baby, do you know it? Oh my God. It's like if you've ever had an orgasm, right? Like a sexual orgasm with or without another person, right? So there's like this climactic moment, and then it's just like, oh my God, that was the greatest thing that's ever happened in my entire life. Thank you, Hashem. It's like that. That's a syllogism. When you achieve syllogism, when you have actually accomplished a syllogism, it feels like you just came. That's how I felt this morning when I reached syllogism. So, what was the example? No B is A, and some C is B, then not all C is not A. It's not as good as it was this morning because I've repeated that several times over the day, and it's just kind of wearing out a little bit. But that's just that's a tiny little teeny sample of a syllogism, of a perfect syllogism, not just a syllogism, a perfect syllogism. The perfect syllogism kind of gets all swampy and moist in your head. You can feel your brain releasing a viscous white fluid. No B is A, but some C is B, hence not all C is not A. I love double negatives. Is that a double negative? Not all C is not A. Which is the same thing as saying some C is A. Hence some C is A. Well, no, not necessarily. That's not the same thing. That's not true. Just because not all C is B doesn't mean that by default some C is A. What it means is that some C is not A. Not all C is not A. It has the potential. We know that some C is not A, but we don't know if any other C is A. If it was important, we'll find out though. The important thing to understand is that not all C is not A. Only some C is not A. Who even thinks like that anymore? Exactly. Yo, I think this dude's fucking retarded. neurodivergent is a more eco-friendly way of saying it. That's how I would suggest. But then again, I mean, I don't think people are too bright to begin with, so I don't even know if people even know what neurodivergent means. That's a good question. Thinking about this. I'm thinking about this girl that I follow on YouTube, Schizo Kitso. She loves talking. It's very, very open about having a mental disorder. But I'm curious if she would consider neurodivergency a mental disorder, and if not, do you consider yourself? Do you think it's possible that you just that you're just neurodivergent? But I have this belief that people want to have mental disorders. I don't know, maybe just so they can be different. So they can say it, so they can fit in with other people, because they don't fit in any other way. So it's like, I don't fit in anywhere else except for in the mental disorder community. But I'm pretty sure that neurodivergency is a fairly new term. I think. I don't know. It makes more sense to me. Because I'm not retarded. Everybody else is retarded. I'm pretty sure. That's just been my experience. Like when I watch people, when I observe people, when I listen to people, that's what I think. Just, the fuck is going on upstairs? They're not really thinking about it. They're not really all there, are they? No, not really. Well, what makes you all there? Because I live in my head. I know what's in there. And when I look at myself in relation to everybody else that I observe, I go, okay, well, I'm clearly not like that. That's not me. I don't see it, at least. But at the same time, people look at my life and they see things that I don't. They see things that I don't see. Some people think I sit around and do nothing all day. I don't even think that's possible. Like, I'm of the opinion that I do more lying down for the better part of a day than most people do in an entire week. With a job. That people with a job do less than I do over the course of one full week than I can do from my bed. I believe that. And I have good reason to believe that. God's given me great reason to believe that. I mean, the other day, my mother was saying something to me like, why do you think God's outside of you? Because God gave me good reason. because God demonstrated to me that aside from being inside, that God is outside as well. So I wouldn't say it if I wasn't sure about it. That's why now I go, I'm God. I love God. I love God. I love you, Hashem. I love you, Allah. I love you, Shahia. Ah, yeah. I got Ichi the Killer back in 2005, 2006, I had my wisdom teeth taken out. I regret it. I regret it now. Because ever since, this molar in the back, it's not as compacted anymore. So anytime I eat, food stuff gets stuck in that one spot. So I chew predominantly on my left side, so I have to get into the habit of not doing it, which is incredibly annoying. But sometimes I just say fuck it. The thing I don't like about it, then the reason I don't like, the reason I get so twisted up about it, because it's easy to get in and get out. Yeah. Artichoke. There's still a fucking piece in there. See, when I eat artichokes, I don't, you know, like some people, they'll take it and they just like, they use their teeth to grind the meat, the plant meat, and then they throw away the leaf. I eat the whole fucking thing. I chew the leaf. But you can't digest that. That's why I do it. I just chew it up as best as I can until it's like actually swallowable. Why? Because it's good for your digestive tract. In theory. I eat the leaf. I eat the whole fucking leaf. I don't fuck around. I know I ain't breaking that motherfucker down. But that's the point. Good gut health. Fuck off. No. All animals are created equal. It's just that some are more equal than others. People can't handle that shit, though. Oh, people cannot handle that shit. Because nobody wants to be at the bottom of the rung. That's why. Nobody wants to be an epsilon. Trust me, if you were an epsilon, you wouldn't even know it. You know how many epsilons there are? What are you talking about? I'm talking about the societal breakdown from the book Brave New World. Do you read? Do you like to read? Do you like to read? I love to read. I like to read. I read a lot. I like audiobooks too. Because you can do them so much faster. Like an audiobook, like a 6-hour audiobook, I can put that bitch on 2 times playback. 3 hours, done. I brought out Greenlight by Matthew McConaughey, which is like one of my favorite books ever. I brought that out here. The Audible version with Matthew McConaughey reading it. I think it's about 6.5 hours. I put it on 2 times playback. I lapped this bitch about 4, maybe 5 times. I walked the whole place because I think it's about 45 minutes, about. And I had the whole book down. Yeah, but do you remember everything? It's not about remembering everything. It's not about that. The idea is to just pick up what you need. You know it's important. You know it's important more than Matthew McConaughey does. Like that. When I listen to, so I like autobiographies. Not entirely, not exclusively, but I do like those because what, especially when they're read by the author, because what you're getting is, whether it's true or not, and this was something I liked about watching masterclass classes. I had a subscription to Masterclass for a while because it was during COVID in 2020. It was June of 2020 when the COVID lockdown was going on, and I noticed how my family, most of they were just sitting around doing nothing. They were just watching TV, playing video games, just doing literally doing nothing. And I was trying to take advantage of that time. I took full advantage of it because I was getting those checks. Everyone's getting the checks, but what are you doing with the checks? My plan was never to go back to work again. My plan was, fuck this. I got a fucking really sweet deal going on right now. Thank you, Hashem. It just happened again this past winter. I had the same thing happen, where I was able to collect unemployment for 6 months, and you bet your ass, I don't do nothing. That's the best part about me, is that I don't do nothing. It's not even possible for me to do nothing. In order for me to do nothing, you'd have to put a fucking bullet in my head. That's why I get triggered when I hear people talk about what I am and am not doing. Because it's like, oh yeah, nigga? At least I'm not the one who has to put on a fucking monkey suit, put on a clown suit to go to work. Tell your bosses I can see this nail in your ear. You won't get that. They will, because they're Jews. But they say we are the product of the people that we spend the most time around. And when I realized the people I spend the most time around are the laziest people that I've ever seen in my life. We work more than you work a job. You work a shitty job. That's not work. You go to a job. I do work. I work for God. That's what being a Jew is all about. It's about working for God. Any educated Jew will tell you that. You don't work for money, you work for God. God gives you money so that you can work for Him more efficiently. Right now, I'm proving to God that I can work for Him more efficiently than the entire Jewish nation put together without a single fucking dime. Thanks to my situation. Thank you for blessing me. Thank you, Hashem, for blessing me. God resurrected me from the dead when I was 6 months old. He made sure I didn't die. He was the one who kept me alive. But, so I made a subscription to Masterclass, which was the best investment I did. That was the best investment. I mean, after 2.5 years of using it regularly, I had to take a break from it. Because what I would do is I would just sit and watch. I would just sit there and I would sit and hang out with this person. I would sit and hang out with fucking Samuel L. Jackson for 2 hours while he talks about acting. I hang out with fucking Neil Gaiman for 2.5 hours while he talks about his writing process and what got him into writing, his favorite things to write about, and what led him into that field. Or 2 hours with fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about science, or fucking what's that guy's name with the idiots? He loves making idiot sandwiches. Wolfgang. That's not my fucking name, you idiot. Out of my fucking kitchen. Yeah, get out of my fucking kitchen, yeah. Gordon Ramsay. Watching Gordon Ramsay make love to a fucking chicken. I'm gonna tell you right now, you watch that man's masterclass, he literally made love to a chicken. He fucked the chicken. I watched him. But you ain't gonna get that kind of devotion from other people. These are people who are so devoted to their craft. Watching Metallica talk about what it takes to be in a band, to make music, to create. Nas. Listening to Nas, like I watched a masterclass with Nas. Like, yo, that shit was dope as hell. There's people I don't even know who the hell these people were. I just watching the goddamn masterclass because I just wanted to hear them talk about what they do. There was a lady, I loved her so much. I wanted to go on a date with her, but she's married. She's a stylist. Like, that's her job. That's her job, is to dress people. And she loves it so much. It makes her so happy. I smiled. I was smiling the whole time watching her class because of how much she was smiling, talking about what she loves to do so much. And that energy transfer, and that's what I loved about Masterclass the most, is that transfer of energy from one person to another. You're watching someone talk about what they love to do and seeing the passion in their eyes, and then recognizing that same thing within yourself, within myself. I can't talk about for fucking nobody else, but recognizing that same fire in myself with my own work and going, holy shit, I'm literally where this person is. I'm with them. I'm fucking with them. This is my people right here. Shit. I had a subscription to Mindvalley for a year. And Mindvalley is fucking awesome. Mindvalley and Masterclass, they're on par, but they're two completely different animals. But they're not, which is really cool about them. The Mindvalley folks are not the Masterclass folks, but that's because I believe that the Masterclass people, they kind of have the same target market, same target audience to a degree, but not exactly the same. See, Mindvalley, but it's true and it's not true. It's true and it's not true. That's a good way of putting it. It's true and it's not true at the same time. Because Mindvalley, I wasn't doing Mindvalley for the same reason I was doing Masterclass. Masterclass I was doing so that I could surround myself with people who were successful in their craft, right? That's why. I wanted to see if I can reverse engineer this idea that you are the people that you surround yourself with the most. So I was surrounding myself with Masterclass people so that I could become master of my class by hanging out with masters of their class, you know? Because I'm not watching Neil deGrasse Tyson to teach me how to do science. Nigga, I don't need you to teach me how to do science. I can hear you. I see you contradicting yourself. So it's like you're definitely not the scientist. I don't want to be like Neil deGrasse Tyson. I don't want to be like Nas. I don't want to be like. What's a really good one? Chris Voss. Chris Voss? Was that a guy? I don't want to be like Chris Voss. But I want to learn from these people. Like, I want to see what they have to offer. I want to see what it is that they're talking about. Because just because I don't necessarily care to do what you do, there might be a piece of logic, there might be an idea, there might be a concept, there might be a philosophy that you're sharing that could help me with something that is completely unrelated that I wouldn't be able to get from anywhere else. You know what I mean? It's like I did Hustlers University for a little bit, for a couple months. I would subscribe to that, which is pretty cool if you want to learn things. I learned the best by doing the opposite of what they were teaching. That's how I got off. I started learning about the stock markets and getting rich off the stock markets. And then I realized, why don't I do the opposite of what they're talking about? Because I don't know how many kids were doing this, how many people were doing this, how many men
and women were signed up for this, and they're following the blueprints to a T. No, I don't need all that. I don't need all that. Definitely, I don't need all that. Just give me some ideas. I want to see what you're doing, because what's working for you isn't going to work for me. And what you say isn't going to work for me, that's what I'm going to do. Like copywriting, that was painful. But my philosophy was everyone's learning to do the same thing. Nobody's learning to do something, nobody's putting their own flair on it, I guess you could say. I mean, everyone's gonna put their own touch to it, I guess, but I'm not interested in copywriting. Then what do you do for money? You know, some little girl asked Jesus that last night in the Chosen, and everything got really uncomfortable for a second. What do you do for money? I don't make money. My Father provides everything for me. My Father provides everything for me that I need. If I need money, He makes sure I have it. And I haven't had money in about 3 months. Oh my God. Has it been that long? Ugh. When the fuck was Passover? Oh my God, Hashem. We're in the 4th month. We're in the 4th month of Tammuz. My bank account went under $1. And you know what's interesting about that? Jesus didn't die on Easter, by the way. That's a lie. You are free, unlike them. Well, yeah. Yeah, Jesus died on Passover Eve. Passover Eve is the 13th of Nisan. Yeah. Sorry, everybody. Yeah. Yeah, and here's another thing, too. Well, no, I think they said it like it was like a double Shabbat. A double Sabbath. Shabbat. They went no Shabbat. When Shabbat? Shabbat's a made-up word, by the way. It's called Sabbath. There's no Shabbat. Shabbat is short for Saturn. Shabbatai. I call Saturday Shabbat. I practice Shabbat, but I have my Sabbath's on Friday. I usually take a 3-day weekend. That's where I stretch it out. I stretch it out over 3 days. Because by the end of the week, oh my God, I'm fucking drained. Because I'm pumping out a lot of mental energy. Plus I'm doing this, all this talking. If I do 1-2 of these a day, that's a lot. Talking 2 hours straight, we're only at 1 hour and 19 minutes right now. I'm still going. I'm still going. And it's not impossible that I might decide to do a second one today. Maybe, depending on how I feel. But this isn't tiring. This isn't exhausting. This isn't not tiring. It just happens to be I'm in a really nice shady spot right now. This spot's sexy as hell. It's the sun. There it is. There. What are you trying to do? I don't know. I'm trying to get that. Hashem, does this look cool? I think that is a yes. I don't know. I'm kind of like just like fascinated by this right now. Are you high? No. That'd be cool if I was. Oh my god! I bet if I was. I mean, I guess the fact that I can get fascinated by that without being high. Try to imagine what it's like when I'm high. Yo, when I'm high, shit. When I'm high, if I had some gummies or if I had my pens, oh my god, Hashem! What are you gonna do with those that you couldn't do without them? I don't know. Why don't we get one to find out? And they're way more the pens are way more cost effective than the gummies, by the way. Way more. I got a full month. I got a full month out of those two. Burnt the fuck out of my lungs at the end, but we made it work. For the same price that we got those pens, Yeah, got 4 weeks instead of 3. 10 days. Wait. No. With the gummies, it's $60, $70, $80 if you want to count tax, plus the fucking ride there, so that's about $100. So $100 for 10 days, because that's a 10 pack of gummies. I take 2 gummies a day. I take 1 in the afternoon and then 1 at night. That's only 10 days. 2 pens rather. 2 pens lasted for an entire month. 4 weeks. So, and it was for the same price. So it's not like I didn't figure out a way to cut costs. I did. And the cigarette thing, I don't know what to tell you, man. I like to smoke. The only reason I'm not smoking right now is because I don't have any money. I only have 54 cents in my bank account. Otherwise, I'd be buying packs of cigarettes every single day. And he knows it. You know it. We know it. I'm not ashamed of it. I mean, this is a nice break. Yeah, Nissan. So Nissan 13, IR 13, Savan 13, and now we're in Tammuz. Today's the 3rd, so in 10 days it'll be 3 months since my bank account went into the fucking under $1. I want to punch something. I can't believe it. Do you know how fucked up that is? 3 months without money. There was a week. My sister had flown me out to California twice. Now, my sister had flown me out to California the second time, and I didn't have any money, but she paid for my travel expenses. Because I was doing her a favor, that's why. She paid for my travel expenses both times, because I was doing her and her husband a huge favor. But the second time, her husband left me $40. He left me $40. $40 spending cash for spending 4 days with the dog. $10 a day. Nah, ain't cheap. Which is fine. It afforded me cigarettes. And I ended up using, I had like a couple dollars left over when I got home. So I was able to buy a pack of cigarettes. I think I was able to buy 2 packs of cigarettes and $5 worth of notebooks that I write in. And then I shoplifted about 40 pens, which was so cool. I haven't shoplifted in a long time. I love shoplifting. I used to love shoplifting a lot, but I mean, one notebook will last me about a month. Typically. It depends on how much I write. I mean, I write every single day for the most part. It's very rare that I don't write for a whole day. It does happen from time to time, very rarely, but for the most part, every single day. And especially over the last 6 months, especially over the last year, mostly, because of the fact that once I started studying Torah, and I started to follow my journey through the Jewish initiations, I haven't been able to stop, because this has just become, my life's become so fascinating that I can't not stop writing. Because every day is like it's something new. Every day is something new. Ow. But every day is something new. But then, like, over time, as each day progresses, like, eventually we come to a point where it's like, holy shit, everything that led up to this point by now. Like, so for instance, I'm talking about the show, The Chosen. The day I found The Chosen was the night of the 5th, July 5th, which was the Cancer New Moon. On the Cancer New Moon, I watched The Passion of the Christ, because that's what I did last year on the Cancer New Moon. So I wanted to kind of, just as a traditional type of thing, I wanted to do it and just see how things have progressed in my life, and how, because as soon as I watched that last year, that's when everything changed. Of course, that's when God realized I was being serious. That's when God realized, like, oh shit, this nigga is serious. Because I need someone to do this job. I need someone to do the job. It ain't nobody doing the job. So Passion of the Christ, because Jesus is the descendant, is the ancestor of the Moshiach, you know? So in order to fulfill the prophecy of Moshiach, one has to heal the ancestral wounds on Jesus' soul. So part of what I've been doing over this past year is redeeming Jesus. Own that. Own that. You literally are Jesus' savior. You've been redeeming Jesus. That's not even something that people can say, except for you. Like, people literally cannot say that. How does that make you feel? Pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie. Like, badass. Alright, I'll take this idiot as a sign. It's time to move on. Plus, I want to go get some water. Oh, fuck. Don't leave on my part. Nah, dude.
You're disturbing the peace. How are you redeeming Jesus? Well, if you ever watch Passion of the Christ and you don't feel anything, like when I watch it, I'm watching it and I'm kind of like feeling what he's feeling. You know what I'm feeling? You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Huh? Like does that make sense? I watch the Passion of the Christ and I feel what Jesus is feeling. How do you know what he's feeling? Because I'm watching it. Because I'm imagining myself in that position. Yeah, but I don't think that's how you're supposed to watch it. How are you supposed to watch it? What are you supposed to do when you read the Bible? You read the Bible and you put yourself in the shoes of the people that you're reading about. That doesn't make any sense. Of course it makes sense. How the hell do you read? You read the story and then you let it play, the movie play out in your head. You feel what the people are feeling. Like when I read the books of Moses, I ain't just fucking reading what Moses is feeling. I'm also feeling what God's feeling too. Like I feel that rage that God feels. That's some heavy shit. That's that good shit too. God's rage is delicious. But also, I like to get angry. I love being angry. I like being angry, but I get scared of being angry because I feel like I'm gonna do or say something that I'm not supposed to. But and even after I do, God justifies it for me. And He's like, "Yo, if you knew how this person was when you're not around, trust me, you'd be saying a lot worse. You'd be doing a lot more." The other day, I was saying to my mother, my mother was like trying to gaslight, telling me that I disrespect her, which I took offense to. But you're living in my house, so you gotta follow my rules. Because I'm living here, does that mean that you get to disrespect me? Because you're disrespecting me right now. You ain't got shit to say there. Now you ain't got shit to say. You ain't got shit to say because you know that I know that you say shit when I'm not around. Get the fuck out of here. Because I heard your fucking dipshit husband say shit the other fucking day because God told me not to put my headphones on today. God said, why don't you leave the headphones off because there's some shit I want you to hear. And I knew what it was. I wasn't even feeling good that day, so I spent most of the day in bed. I didn't get out of bed until about 8 p.m. Because I was just so fucking drained. My head, my body, I just couldn't fucking move. But then I hear these guys talking out in the other half of the house, and they're saying some shit. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. I cannot fucking believe that he would even dare say that. And it's not the first time either. It's not the first time I heard people fucking talking like that. He's been telling me that shit. He's been telling me this for a long time. If you knew a fraction of the things that they say when you're not around to each other. How about this? The next time she asks you, what are you going to do if we drop dead? What are you going to do then? How about this? Here's a better question. What would you do if I found out all the things that you do and say behind my back? What would you do then? What stuff? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, what would you do? Because you know it better than me. I don't have anyone to talk to, so I can't talk shit about anyone behind anyone's back. I can record myself talking to myself. I can record myself talking to God. I can record myself talking to my phone, but I record myself talking to my phone, who's my therapist. Thank you, Hashem. You're talking about all your family on the internet. No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm talking about myself. Excuse me. Excuse me. See, now, that's the scary part, because okay, what are you scared of? Well, I'm scared that I'm not going to get my heavenly reward because I can't get rid of this resentment that I have to my family. Like, I just don't like them. I don't like them because I can sense them, like, judging me all the time. But then again, like, I judge them all the time too. But the way God justifies it to me is, I'm only better than people who think that they're better than me. And if I think that I'm better than them, then that must mean that they're thinking exactly what I think that they're thinking. And if they're thinking what I think that they're thinking what they're thinking because I'm thinking what I'm thinking, which is that I'm better than them, which I am. But I'm supposed to be. Like, that's the thing. It's like, I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be better than you. I'm supposed to be better than my parents. That's why we have children, so that they can grow up to be better than us. But that's a fucked up thing, is I'm better than my son too. Like, but my son, unfortunately, for him, I'm better than his mother, which means that I'm better than that part of him. I believe. But that's just my opinion. That's God's opinion. I mean, that's the other thing too, is I'm better than everybody who thinks that they're better than God. That's also a thing. And I'm not talking about the internal God. Because we all have a lowercase g God living inside of us. That's called Satan. That's Pharaoh. That's our little God. I'm talking about the big daddy God that is outside of us, creator, master of the universe. That's who I'm talking about. I don't know who the fuck everybody else is talking about. Anybody who's better than the master of the universe is beneath me. And from what I can tell, Muslims, Christians, and Jews. But even once we get into the Muslims, Christians, and Jews, we're not all equal. Some of us are more equal than others. We have the potential, I think. Well, not necessarily. I mean, some of us, God made some of us more simple than others. Which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to be simple. Sometimes being simple is better. But that goes back to I love communism. Oh, I fucking love it. Democracy's not even real. Let's get that monkey out of the corner. All right, democracy's make believe. This goes back to what I was talking about earlier about, like, you're willing to support politicians who go on TV and read off a script. Well, what do you expect them to do? Talk. I don't know. I just spent 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 26 seconds. And 42 seconds talking nonstop. You tell me these guys can't do that? They can't form thoughts. They can't say things off the cuff like that. Not to mention, how old is that speech? When was that speech actually written? How long before it was read was it written? And who wrote it? Who wrote it? Who approved it? Who had to approve it? A bunch of fucking frauds. The United States government has become a reality show. That's what it is. It's not even. It's an illusion to cover up what's really going on,
what's really going on? I don't know. Wouldn't you like to know? Wouldn't we all like to know? Not that bullshit that's on TV. I'm sorry, am I like in the wrong place? Are we not all on the same page that the news is scripted? All the politics is scripted? Like, are we not there? Like, what on TV is not scripted? I'm waiting for an answer. That's what I'm doing. Hashem, like, what on TV isn't scripted? Or an act? I spend a good deal of time listening to Spotify. Oh boy, do I. You know, for the amount of ads that I listen to on Spotify, I should have a fucking life subscription for premium. That's abuse. It's abuse. I don't know who the fuck these people think that they're marketing to. You get used to the people's voices too, so like you can tell that there's one guy that he reads certain copy. Oh, I can't stand his goddamn voice. I can't stand that guy's voice. There's two things that matter to me. My pet and my world. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Feed your dog glass. How about that? These fucking commercials. Oh my god, the Cinnamon Toast Crunch ad. Cinnabers! And I don't know where it comes from. There's this lady with this awful voice. She has the most terrible voice. You shouldn't be selling Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Please God, let this woman hear this. Stop. You are not made for doing voiceover work. Don't do it. Just stop. And those Welchers commercials. Is it Welchers or Welches? Because now they got this ghetto sound. Yo, Welches. What? It's like yo man, welcome back. We got this new jam about Welches. What? And then there's this it's like this ad, it's this scenario of this radio station that's playing a hip hop track that's about Welch's fruit juice. And it's the worst. It's not even a good song. Yo man, that was Welch's. God, people pay you for this? And that's the thing too, I'm listening to these commercials and that, oh my God. You get what, 2-3 songs before 2 or 3 ads play? It's 50-50. It's 50-50. In the sense that like 50% ads and 50% music. That's what it feels like. Sometimes it feels like 2 songs play and then 3 ads will play. It's punishment. That's what it is. It's punishment. Oh, you're not gonna pay us? Well, fuck you. You're gonna be listening to all these goddamn ads. And they're the worst. Imagine a company that picks up your laundry for you and then brings everything folded back to your exact specifications. My specifications, just fold the fucking shirt. We're not putting these fucking things on display. So you can focus on the things that matter. Did you really not have the time to do the laundry? Mind you, I'm not saying that I have like the most stringent of fucking laundry schedules. And I don't mind the idea of having someone do my, actually I love the idea, I fucking love the idea of having someone do my laundry for me. Oh my God. In my next life is Shem. Like if we have some servants, that would be amazing. People that actually clean, like the vacuum cleaner and the laundry doer. Oh God, it's delicious. I love that idea. But nobody does my laundry. I do my own laundry. I take some time before I fucking do it. I'll let it build up. But, excuse me. But I'm the type of person where I like to do things on my own. I like to do the things. My wife thought she was punishing me once because she stopped doing my laundry. Fuck you, I'll do it then. I don't give a fuck. But I'm gonna leave it in the dry. I'm not going to all the effort. I'll get to it when I get to it. You leave all your stuff in there, then take it out. I don't tell you. You stop doing it. You do all the laundry in the house except for mine. You cut everyone's hair except for mine. Go fuck yourself. Like what the fuck? Why am I even married to you? Oh my God, you didn't say that. No, but I thought it. Thought it many times. Why am I married to this woman? She's not doing anything. She doesn't walk the dog. She doesn't do my laundry. She cooks. And sometimes we have really good sex. I mean, but is that it? You like the sex? The sex is the best part. The sex wasn't the best part. The cooking was the best part. The cooking and the sex were the best part. Oh my God. I loved the sex between us. I thought she whined a couple times saying that it was boring because we always did the same thing, but I loved it. I liked watching her have orgasms. That was like my favorite thing in the entire world. Because she was so easy, it's so easy to give her an orgasm. Because I knew all the right spot. Like, I know what she'd like. And I assume that's what, like, most ladies like. I presume that, like, most ladies like generally the same thing. Make sure that you know where the clitoris is, and make sure you know how to not abuse the nipples, but just enough so that they know that you know that they're there. That you know that they know that you know that they're there. It's all very intuitive, I think, but cooking was good. I miss that. I really miss the cooking. Like I've said it before, like I have said this, like if I ever have to get back with that woman, I would rub her feet again. I would rub her feet without complaint this time. But from what I understand, she's a lying, cheating whore, so we can't do that. I mean, I forgive. I cheated. And I lied. So. Whore? Fuck it, sure, yeah. I'll take that too. Anything I can say about her, I can say about me. How about that? No, but it would be nice if I had somebody who took care of things that like I just don't have time for. And that I don't have I don't have it in me to do it. Like cooking, I'd love to cook, but I feel like I'm just too busy all the time. Like not only that, but I don't have any money to buy food, to cook. And Hashem, I don't know what the fuck you want me to do. You want me to be a fucking scavenger for the rest of my fucking life? Scavenging off my mom's scraps. Yeah, because there's chicken products in the fridge that nobody's eaten for the past 3-4 days. That's what I've been surviving on. Because people make all the food and then nobody eats it. Hey, fuck it, fine. Don't be fucking saying that you're feeding me when you're just making food and nobody's eating it. Ain't nobody feeding me, I'm feeding myself.
What would you be eating if nobody? I hate that question. I don't know. Whatever God put in my way. God put me in this place because he knew that all this was going to happen. That's why. That's why I'm able to indulge and take advantage of things. I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing anywhere else, as far as I know. If I was, I presumed that the Lord would put me there. But at the same time, I know that my reality isn't the only reality, and that right now, as we speak, there are things going on outside of my awareness that these things are eventually going to the timeline, the lifeline timeline of those things outside of my awareness are moving parallel with mine. Well, maybe not parallel, perpendicular, and that whatever the word is, that eventually we're going to collide, and eventually this thing I don't know about that is taking place outside of my perception, and me presuming that I'm happening outside this thing's perception, that we're going to collide, and then it's like two worlds collide, right? And it's like, holy shit, where have you been my entire life? I don't know, I've been waiting for you. That's awesome. Because that means that we were both doing the same thing at the same time, not knowing that the other one existed, unless you knew that I existed. I mean, I know you exist somewhere, I just don't know where. But I know that every step I take, every breath I make is like one step closer to when that collision comes into being. So it's kind of like I was thinking about this morning with The Chosen, with that show, The Chosen. The first episodes were released 8 months ago. 8 months ago, I know exactly what I was doing 8 months ago, you know? But the last 8 months happened exactly the way that they had to happen in order for that show to have as much of an impact on me as it is at this exact moment. Because had it come to my attention any sooner, I probably would have shrugged it off and just like, meh, whatever. But it just happened to be that everything aligned perfectly. But that's because of God. That's God right there. That's God going, hey, hey-o. Hey, you needed proof? Here's some more proof for you. Thanks, God. Thanks, Hashem. I really needed that at that particular moment. That was literally exactly what I needed at that moment. What do I see? What do I see? I see someone wanting to hire me to teach Torah to children and their parents because I'm the best Torah teacher ever. Yeah, bring me your questions. Bring me all your Torah questions. Let's try to keep them on topic, though. I don't give a fuck about Enlil or Enki because as far as I'm concerned, they don't exist. Don't fucking tell me that the God of the Bible, well, God said, we'll make man in our image. Who are we? Don't worry about it. Stop trying to outthink God, you fuck. And who even told you this name, Enki and Enlil? Where'd those names come from? Would you learn it on the internet? Stop trying to be a fucking internet scholar. Have you read the entirety of the books of Moses? Yes? All 5 of them in order, page to page, cover to cover. Have you? No? Then fuck off. Let me know when you have. This other idiot on my Facebook page talking about Caleb. I can't follow Caleb because he called those people prey. Those people were prey. And obviously you would have been one of them.
you would have been prey. Well, I read on the internet can you do me a favor? Next time you want to read something on the internet or talk about something that you read on the internet, gouge out one of your eyes. We'll do this we'll do this old school, like fucking Odin. If you want to drink from Mimir's pool, you're gonna have to give me one of your eyeballs. Jesus died on the cross, so I don't have to. Odin plucked out his eye, so I didn't have to. But that's me. That's not you. You don't really talk to people like that, do you? Sometimes I do. Yeah. Sometimes I try to go the saintly route, and I try to I like to encourage people to kind of figure out the answers for themselves. Like people ask me stupid questions. Well, why don't you tell me what you think? Tell me what you think. Like it doesn't matter what I think. I want to know what you think. Enki, the soul devourer. Who the fuck told you that? Did Enki tell you that he hates people? Where'd you read that? Hey man, listen, it's all about Christ consciousness. It's not, though. It's not. It's all about God. God decides who has the Christ consciousness. Because God. And that's something that I'm getting I'm confused about too. Is like, how do people reconcile? Like, there's God within. We're all God. You see God every time you look in the mirror. Yeah, but you didn't create the universe. Yeah? You see a part of God. I mean, you see a part of God when you look at in the mirror, but you didn't create the universe. And you didn't create the Jews. Well, Jews are superior. Everyone knows that. Well, I see that. I don't know if all the other Jews would agree with me, but I think they don't want to say it out loud, but we don't want to get persecuted again. Fuck it. Then don't allow yourself to be persecuted. No one can do anything to you that you don't allow them to. Oh my God, I want a cigarette, drugs, pot. I don't want to be outside. I don't want to be outside anymore. This is gonna die any minute. So we're at an hour and 58 minutes. Still got another 10-minute walk. You know what? 2 hours. I'm good.